Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to Excel Online, EVE Online. And in today's video I want to take a look at the changes to the mining barges, specifically the Mackinaw, which is my main mining ship at the moment, because it was nerfed, and the nerf was actually bigger than what I had expected or thought was going to come. So I do want to take a look at that and see how all of this is working out. The Mackinaw has an awesome ore hold of 35,000 cubic meters, and so it was by far the most popular mining ship, either the Mackinaw or the Retriever, its Tech 1 version, just because of the big holds and the decent rate. For any solo miner, this was really the ship to go for. You could easily make a good amount of money by mining in Isaac with this ship. Now unfortunately its yield has been decreased substantially. At first I thought it would be maybe like a little nerf of maybe 5-10%, but it's actually apparently a little bit more than that. And in exchange for that the Hulk and the Coveter with 3 mining lasers have been buffed a little bit. The attempt from CCP is to basically encourage people to go into corporations and to mine in bigger groups, which unfortunately, of course, is counter to how most miners actually go about doing their mining in EVE Online. A lot of people play this solo. The new yields here is 1593 cubic meters for a cycle of 145.8 seconds on this Mackinaw. If you go for the fit, it's a greedy fit with 3 mining laser upgrades here and medium mining drone augmenters in the rigs. Extremely greedy, so it's also paper thin. Before Kronos, I know that in 7 full cycles I could completely fill up this 35,000 cubic meter hold, so around 5,000 cubic meter per full cycle. That was with 2 mining lasers and the mining drones going very close by. So I always do pick an asteroid that's less than 3,000 meters from my ship to minimize travel time. And now we'll have to see, we'll see just in one quick cycle how big the nerf is, how many cycles I need now in order to fill up my my Mackinaw. I tried a little bit yesterday and it definitely felt a lot slower than before Kronos. So I do think we took a decent beating on this one. So yeah, let's go. We're half through the cycle. If I'm not mistaken, I was at 180 seconds before Kronos, so they did speed up the cycle a little bit. But I do think that psychologically miners tend to think in cycles, and so if you go from something like 7 cycles to fill a Mackinaw to 8 or even 9 in order to fill a Mackinaw, it's just gonna feel a lot more slow. And there is no doubt that these ships have been nerfed in general, so you will get less ore per hour mining solo in a Mackinaw or a Retriever than you did before the Kronos expansion. We are almost at this cycle, so yeah, let's do a quick comparison. We already have 374 from the mining drones. At best we'll get to like 700 from them, and then like 3,200, maybe even a little bit less. So it will be less than 4,000, I think. Yeah, there we go. They do complete the second cycle, these mining drones, putting me at 750 cubic meters in one cycle from just the mining drones. And now this one completes here again, and we are at 3,936 cubic meters. So that's less than 4,000, and I had more than 5,000 before Kronos. So I would say around a 20% nerf. That's not nothing. Now let's do a quick calculation here as well. 35,000 divided by 4,000 is 8.75 full cycles in order to completely fill my Mackinaw ore hold. So that's close to 9. Add a few asteroids that are not 100% mined at the entire time, and you're easily looking at 9 full cycles in order to fill a Mackinaw, when it was just 7 before the expansion. So this is definitely a pretty big nerf to the yield for the Mackinaw. I felt it was a lot slower. I did not expect the hit to be this big, but yeah, solo miners, we did get a pretty significant nerf with the launch of Kronos. Now I'm not going to complete all of this because that is actually going to be pretty boring if we have the time is also 145 seconds. So if we do that, 9 times 145 divided by 60, we're looking at pretty much 22 minutes of straight up mining in the ideal circumstances in order to fill up this Mackinaw, where it was only like 18 minutes, I think, before the expansion for me to fill this up. So yeah, it's a definite nerf. I would say around 20% less yield that you will get from your Mackinaw now if you feed it the same way that I did. Another problem, it's not really a big problem, but I knew, for instance, by heart and very easily, that before Kronos, one full cycle on a Veldspar asteroid was 20,000 Veldspar, and a full cycle on a Plagioclase asteroid was just a little over 5,000. Right now these numbers are completely different. It's less, you know, it's going to be something like 17,500 Veldspar, something like that. So you also have to redo all your calculations for how many cycles you can get on one of these bigger asteroids, try and find the right balance and all of that. So we took a little bit of a nerf, yeah, let's dock up, and this definitely shows what this is all about. You know, I would guess 20% nerfed, maybe even 25% on a greedy fit Mackinaw. It's not nothing. Still, I'm going to see if this is the time to panic. You know, did they just really nerf the HiSeq solo miners by 20%? Honestly, I think our bottom line will end up to be quite alright. For that, I will take a quick trip into Dixie, where I'll have a look at the evolution of the mineral market. I do EVE talk every week, and we've already seen in the last weeks and months that the HiSeq minerals have gone up. So we'll take a look at that, compare that to the 20% nerf, and we'll see if it's time to panic and start to riot or not. So here we are in Dixie, where we are going to take a look at the prices of minerals. So yeah, let's start off here, for instance, with tritanium, which has been going up for the last 6 months, going from 4.6 ISK to 5.9 ISK. That's an increase of 1.3 on a price of 4.6. So that's really not bad, and in fact it's even from halfway in March here, which I think is timed around the announcement of the mining bar changes, that tritanium went from 4.7 to 5.9, so that's a 1.2 increase. That's around 1/4, so 20%, 25% increase in price in tritanium. So for this one, we're definitely seeing that there is a price response possibly to the announced changes on the mining barges that has caused tritanium to jump up by 20%, just like the yield on the mining barge, on my mining barge at least, has also decreased by around 20%. Now pyrite is a little bit different. Over here we can see that it started 6 months ago at 10.8 and jumped up to 12.8, which is again around 20% increase, but now it's corrected back down to 11.8, so your overall on 6-month increase in price is only 10%. I'm also not seeing any major movements at around the end of March, early April, where these changes have been announced, except that the decline in pyrite did stop there, and it actually just restarted here at the tail end, but it's already picking back up. So it's hard to say, you know. Pyrite is also a HiSeq mineral, definitely. It comes from scordite, although I do think that scordite is a less mined ore than Veldspar and Plagioclase. So if we take a look here at Mexalon, for instance, that one jumped up pre-announcement from well, pretty much 41 ISK to 48 ISK, a little bit higher here and a little bit higher here, so around 8 ISK on a base price of 40. Again, about 20% jump in price. It corrected back a little bit, but again here at the end of March, early April, Mexalon started going back up, although granted pretty slowly. It's managed to maintain that this new price of around 48 ISK, 20% higher than what it was earlier on. And so I do think that in the end, for the miners, our bottom line in ISK per hour compared to 6 months ago is going to be roughly the same. The psychology, of course, with having this nerf, having to spend 21 minutes or 9 cycles in a Mackinaw where it was only 18 minutes and 7 cycles before, is something that's going to feel quite unpleasant. What's also going to take part is here, for instance, in Mexalon and in Pyrite, the big jump happened after the big nullsec fights where titans were lost. So it may not be as apparent that that prices of the minerals that we mostly mine solo, which is in high sec, have gone up by pretty much the same percentage as the percentage that our yield has decreased. So I do understand that some miners are going to feel pretty bad about the changes, but I think if you look at it objectively, and especially here on the titanium chart, you do see that the market has incalculated the changes to the mining barges and responded in kind by increasing the prices by around 20% for the minerals mined in HiSec, and thus that your bottom line, your ISK per hour as a solo miner in HiSec compared to 6 months ago is pretty much the same, while your yield has decreased by around 20%. Not very pleasant. This is also an explanation as to why stuff like Megasite has been moving sideways or even down on a 6 months. Same with Zydrine. Both of these are mostly mined in nullsec, and I don't think people actually use paper thin mining barges. Either they're in a big coordinated fleet with hulks and orca support, so this nerf doesn't hit them, or they're in smaller, more tank chips if you go out solo in nullsec, and so there the change is a little bit less. And so I do think this is an explanation why the main HiSec minerals have gone up by around 20%, whereas the nullsec ones have not. So I would say yes, we did get a nerf on solo mining. You'll spend 20% more time trying to get the same volumes as you did before Kronos, but take a look at what you're getting for the refined minerals. In the end, I think your ISK per hour is actually not nerfed any, really. If I look at the prices of titanium and Mexalon, Pyrite is down a little bit, I'll grant you that, but overall I think the idea behind the change is obvious. They want people to work together, they want to get people into hulks with orca support in big mining fleets to make juicy targets for gankers. Well, maybe, I don't know, but that is the idea behind this change. And you shouldn't feel too bad about how this all plays out. The market in the end still dictates what is going to happen. Mining has remained just as boring as before Kronos, and so the amount of reward you'll get for mining in HiSec usually stays pretty much the same, and it's a price reaction that has pretty much countered the nerf to our yield as solo miners. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.